Welcome back, everybody. We are here for episode 11 of North of the 6th. Hope everyone out across Canada is surviving this massive heat wave we're going through right now. It seems to be that it's warm everywhere right now, but we're very excited to share some exciting topics going on in the world of sports.
Yeah, it's been a little while, guys, so thanks for tuning in again. You mentioned the heat. They're breaking records out west. I know in BC, it's something like 47, 48 degrees Celsius, just like shattered records. And then it turned in, unfortunately, to some forest fires. So hoping everyone out there is okay. But yeah, we're definitely thinking of you guys. It's nice to be back. We got some good topics for the episode. We're going to talk a little bit about the Blue Jays heading into the All-Star weekend. We'll talk about the NBA Finals. And we're going to talk about the Raptors and what do they do in the draft.
So let's go. Let's have fun with this. We're just going to jump right into category one here. The Toronto Blue Jays are halfway through their season right now, and even though it's been a bit of a roller coaster season, very positive news has happened. The Blue Jays have had not one, not two, not three, but four players make it to the 2021 MLB All-Star game. It ties them with the Houston Astros for the most players representing the American League, and four of them were named to it. The players included were Vladimir Guerrero Jr., Marcus Semien, Teoscar Hernandez, and Bo Bichette. And the question is, are all four of these guys worthy of making the All-Star team?
Oh, absolutely. I think they are. You look at those four names that you just mentioned, three of them are starting. I think they even deserve to start. Looking at Teoscar Hernandez first, I know he missed a little bit of time earlier in the year with the COVID absence, but since he's been back, he's hitting just over 300. He's got a good on base. The power's down a little bit, but he's really rounding into more of a complete player. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Bautista when he kind of broke out 2010, 2011. A little bit later in his career, 27, 28 years old. I think he could kind of be, a 30 to 35 home run guy going forward. He's got pretty good speed. And a decent arm in the outfield. He's a lot better fielder than he was when he first came to the Jays. So I definitely think he deserves to be there. Vladdy, I don't really need to say anything. It's just obvious why Vladdy's starting. He's just been so consistent all year. On base like 440, such something ridiculous. I think Ross Stripling said it best when he said, we're all playing on like all-star mode in the video game. He's just on rookie settings. He's absolutely just lighting it up. So Vladdy for sure. Semien has had a great year. Slow start in April, but has really come on May, June, and into July. The on base is up there. He's hitting home runs. Every game, I swear, he's hitting a leadoff home run. He's been solid in the field. We already knew that, though. Solid second base for the Jays. So no concerns with Semien at all. I know he's on a one-year deal, but I love the way he's played. And then Bichette, I don't think he's the quality of hitter that Guerrero and Semien are, but I still think he definitely deserves to be an all-star. I know he's a reserve, but he's showing the speed. His arm has been a little questionable. He's gotten better in the field recently, but I think Bo Bichette does deserve to be there as well.
And my opinion on this, absolutely. All four of them deserve to make it. Yeah, the Blue Jays are sitting around that 500 mark all year long. And who knows, at the end of the season, they might be 81-81. But the offense has certainly been incredible. It has come as advertised. They are second in the majors in runs scored. So, with that being said, sure, there's going to be a few players going to the All-Star game. And to your point, I'll just start. Teoscar Hernandez, came back from a little COVID stint. Unfortunately, that hit him early in the season, but he came back and hit, like you said, Mike, hitting close to 300, very much like Jose Bautista 2.0 in terms of the career path. And he's been better in the outfield. He's only made 3 errors all season long out in right field, so he was worthy of a starter spot. Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he's top 3 in I think every offensive category in baseball. He's a triple crown threat. And he's probably going to be an MVP candidate. That'll be a discussion for another day. Marcus Semien, came here on a one-year deal, and he's just taken that second baseman spot. He's just been incredible. Good hitter, good fielder. Just been no complaints about him. And then Bo Bichette, a little too much with errors, I think. I think he's sitting at 14 or 15 on the season. However, decent hitter. He has 12 stolen bases. He hasn't been caught stealing this year. And he's just a hustler. Like, the guy does play hard every single game, and he's reliable too. Knock on wood, he's played almost every game this season, and he's been very durable. So yes, I do think all 4 players were deserving of spots.
Yeah, Bichette had some injury concerns his first 2 years. I know it's concussion, which is unfortunate his first year, and then just some minor injuries, the last year and a bit. But he's definitely, like you said, he's been a lot more durable this year. Just a couple other quick thoughts on the All-Star with the Jays. I was kind of surprised not to see one of Hyunjin Ryu or Robbie Ray included in the pitching staff. Robbie Ray especially. Ryu's fallen off a little bit, still pretty consistent, but Robbie Ray has really turned things around. Again, on a 1-year deal, but his strikeouts are through the roof and his walks are way down this year, and that's kind of what plagued him earlier in his career, the walks. So I was a little surprised not to see Robbie Ray there. And then one other big surprise is I actually saw Randall Grichuk's name being mentioned as a possible All-Star. And
I was surprised too.
If he made the All-Star team, I would stop watching baseball forever, I think. Like the fact, again, I'm a Jays fan here. I'm a Jays fan, but the fact that Randall Grichuk was in consideration for an All-Star spot is an absolute joke, in my opinion. Like a 290 on-base career kind of guy. I know he's driven in some runs this year, but the guy is he's a useless hitter. And, 0.9 wins above replacement this year. Give me a break. I couldn't understand that one.
Well, I've got nothing further to add with Randall Grichuk, but with Robbie Ray, I just want to say in an earlier episode that he would be, emerge as the number 2 starter. I think I might have said that back in March or April. However,
He's actually, you could say he's probably been the number 1 starter, to be honest. He's kind of surpassed Ryu, I think, when it comes to consistency standpoint. So yeah, to your point, to give you credit for that, Robbie Ray has really come around this year.
However, there still has to be a second half to be played, right? So we'll see what happens there.
Yep.
Question number 2, we've got, it's NBA Finals time, and 2 teams that I don't think very many people would have predicted to make the finals somehow got their way there. The Phoenix Suns and the Milwaukee Bucks. And the way I see it, it appears that they're the 2 healthiest teams that made it. I know Milwaukee Bucks star player Giannis Antetokounmpo's got a knee injury, but for the most part, they've been healthy. And I think the story of the 2021 NBA playoffs has been injuries. Anyway, the question is, who will win the 2021 NBA Finals? And who will be the Finals MVP?
I've got Phoenix Suns winning in 5 games, and I've got Devin Booker as my obvious choice for MVP. And I think one of the biggest reasons why I think they're going to win in 5 is what you just mentioned with Giannis. He's not 100%, and there's nobody else on that team that can help carry them through if he's not playing at 100%. He's been upgraded to questionable for tonight's game. How many minutes does he even play if he does suit up tonight? I don't really know. To me, Phoenix is just a more well-rounded team. Again, behind Giannis, Chris Middleton, he can still score the ball, but they don't have enough guys. I know they've gotten to the finals. That's obviously an accomplishment in itself. But I look at Devin Booker, and then Chris Paul again, who's not 100%, DeAndre Ayton, even Mikal Bridges. Those guys play significant roles. They play a lot of minutes, and they're consistent. So I've got the Phoenix Suns winning in 5 games with Devin Booker being the MVP.
Okay, well, I was looking at this series, looking at the rosters and dissecting it, and I've got the same thing. I've got the Phoenix Suns as well, but I think it's going to go a little bit longer. I've got the Phoenix Suns in 7 games. I think this series is going to go the distance. And yes, to your point, Antetokounmpo, we don't know the status of his health, but that Eastern Conference Finals, when the Milwaukee Bucks played the Atlanta Hawks, they did win games 5 and 6 without him in the lineup. So I don't know if it's one of those weird situations in which the team, I'm not going to say they're better without Giannis, I won't go that far, but I don't know if they drop off that much. I wonder if it allows them to swing the ball more on offense and create more open shots. I don't know if it's one of those weird circumstances. Do you remember the
Pascal
2019
Siakam
Toronto
effect.
Raptors?
Don't touch the ball, Siakam, and the Raptors are probably better off for it.
Maybe, but where I was going with this was, remember the 2019 Raptors? They were 16-5 without Kawhi Leonard in the lineup.
Yeah.
So, but would you say they're better without him? I don't know. It's hard to say, right? So, I think the Milwaukee Bucks, they play very well. They can shoot the 3 ball. Brook Lopez has looked pretty good. Chris Middleton, I know he's inconsistent, but when he goes off, he's as good as any player in the NBA, I think. Mm-hmm. Especially with his shooting and as a perimeter defender. So I think they can go the distance. However, I'm just going to go with the classic case of whoever has home court advantage in Game 7 takes the series. So I'm going to say the Phoenix Suns win in a hard-fought 7-game series, capture their first NBA championship as a franchise, and with Chris Paul capturing his first Finals MVP.
Yeah, it would be a cool story to see Chris Paul take it, right? The guy's had a long, very successful career. It would be really nice to see him get that MVP. And, a guy like Devin Booker, I think, would be totally happy to see Chris Paul winning that MVP. Devin Booker's got an amazing career coming up. He's still only in his mid-20s. And I give him a lot of credit because he stuck it out in Phoenix his first, 2-3 years in the league when they were a pretty bad team, right? So yeah. I do give him a lot of credit for sticking it out with Phoenix. And, now they're in the finals. So
yeah, and it could be one of those situations that Devin Booker probably will be the best player in the series, but the feel-good story will be Chris Paul winning it. You know what I mean? I think it could be one of those situations. He's the betting odds favorite right now for Finals MVP, according to those gambling sites out there. So I don't know, and I think the NBA is all about storylines, right? So that's what I think. I think Chris Paul will be the Finals MVP in this series. So the NBA Finals, it's the first time, too, one quick point here, that it's going to be 2 teams in which one has never won a championship and the other one hasn't won a championship in 48 years.
It's refreshing a little bit to see it, right? No LeBron, no Warriors dynasty. It is a little refreshing to kind of see that, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be good to see a new winner. Now, we're not going to leave here without talking little Toronto Raptors, of course, for all you hardcore Raptor fans out there. This is probably a very critical offseason in terms of where will the franchise be going for 2021-22. The Raptors, going into the NBA draft lottery, which took place a couple weeks ago, had the highest odds of landing the 7th overall pick in the first round of the draft. They jumped up 3 spots, so the lottery ping pong balls went their way, and they're now going to be choosing 4th in the 2021 NBA draft. The question is, what should the Raptors do with the 4th overall pick in the upcoming 2021 NBA draft?
If I'm Masai Ujiri or the GM, whoever's in charge at the time, it's going to still be Masai, but I'm sticking with that 4th pick. And it seems like the top 4 is just set in stone for the draft. So if it continues that way, there's no trades that happen. I think they go with Jalen Suggs. To me, that's just makes the most sense for the Raptors. The guy was unbelievable last year for the Zags. He's a well-balanced point guard who I think is going to be like a double-double machine in the NBA. If they re-sign Kyle Lowry, I like Suggs. Even if they don't re-sign him, I still like him. If Lowry's on the team next year on a 1 or 2 year deal, I love Suggs coming in, being kind of that third guard behind Fred and Kyle, and then growing into kind of maybe that number 1 spot a couple years down the road. So I think Jalen Suggs makes the most sense. The only thing with him is he's got to knock the turnovers down, which is really, it's common for a young point guard coming into the league. They will have a lot of turnovers, but I'm really excited to see him in a Raptors uniform and then what the team would look like, the next couple of years down the road.
So that's who I had too. So this is an episode in which we agree on every topic, not much debate going on here. However, I like Jalen Suggs too. He probably will be the perfect successor to Kyle Lowry. Hopefully, anyway. He was a proven winner in college. He's a good two-way player. Can pass the ball well. Yes, he has to cut his turnovers down a little bit, but he's a good defender too. Good shooter. He can work on developing his shot. Durable. And I think they'll have a need at that position as Kyle Lowry gets older. And again, I want Kyle Lowry back as well. I'm sure most Raptor fans do. And maybe it'll be a little bit of a passing of the torch situation in which that maybe he can mentor this young kid to be the next floor general for the Toronto Raptors along with Fred VanVleet. So I think that just makes the most sense. I think that's what they should do with the 4th pick, and just to continue to build around the young core of OG Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, and hopefully Pascal Siakam if he ever gets his game back, right? So if that's the case, they've got a good foundation in place. Now, a rumor swirling around that the Raptors should consider trading the 4th pick and Fred VanVleet for Ben Simmons. What are your thoughts? I don't really know what to say.
I don't understand that trade. That makes no sense to me. Ben Simmons is a guy, like even Philadelphia saying they can't envision him as a point guard. So what is he, like a six? Like they try to put him as a 6'10" point guard. He plays pretty good defense. He can rebound the ball. He does have skills, but he can barely shoot like from distance. So I don't understand trading a guy like Fred and the 4th overall pick, who again could be like a Jalen Suggs, a nice point guard, for Ben Simmons. Like if they did that straight up, I think that's one of the worst trades that could ever happen in Raptor history. I just don't get that.
Yeah, I don't think it will happen either. But the internet, people propose wild things out there in the sports world, right? And all you can do is just sometimes you read it and laugh at it, and other times these things may happen. I still remember when the first leaks were coming out about the Raptors close to acquiring Kawhi Leonard, and all of a sudden the betting sites were going way in favor of Toronto, and I remember thinking, what's going on here? Is this going to happen? And then it did. So never say never, I suppose. But we're in agreement that they should continue to build around their young core.
Yeah, and then this draft class is a really talented draft class, and those top 4 I think are going to be studs. Now there's some talk about how the Raptors need a big guy, so if Mobley slides to 4, do they go after him? But I still think the Raptors are like in a win now mode. Like I know Siakam's probably going to miss the first month or so of the season, but you talked about Fred and OG and Kyle if he comes back, and then you toss in a guy like Jalen Suggs. Like to me, that's a pretty good roster right there. So I think they're in win now, and I think the best chance to keep winning now is to get the best talent, and I think that is Jalen Suggs. So
yeah, and just remember this: in Masai we trust.
All right.
I have to leave you with the corny joke, fans. So anyway, thank you for joining us for episode 11. We are very glad to share a little bit of wisdom with you, and just continue to stay safe out there, enjoy the heat, and enjoy the summer.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in, guys. We'll probably see you in a few weeks. Look for maybe a little fantasy football draft we might do. Brad and I might go back and forth, maybe with some picks for you fantasy football gurus out there. So stay tuned for that.